Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my transfer plans for Game Week 12 and take a look at how I got on in Game Week 11. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, what are your transfer plans for the next game week, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, Game Week 11 was relatively low scoring for me, but I think it was relatively low scoring for a lot of people. A lot of players did blank, a lot of captaincies blanked, etc., unless you did go with Saka. I finished on 47 points, which was a green arrow, just showing how low scoring the game week was, because usually 47 points is not going to get you a green arrow. But I did finish on a game week rank of 2.1 mil, double Arsenal defense, seemingly not great against Sunderland. Who would have expected it? But Raya with 1 point and Gabriel with 1 point. Not ideal. Lacroix picking up 6 points, a very boring game between Brighton and Crystal Palace, and then Senesi picking up 2 points as well. I didn't think that Senesi, after conceding 4 goals, would equal my double Arsenal defense, but that is just the game that we love. But yeah, all in all, not great from the defense this week. Lacroix the only shining kind of light in that back line there, but yeah, it couldn't go on forever. I wasn't really expecting Sunderland to be the game where they concede 2. Especially with how good they've been at the back lately, but it is what it is. It's not a time to be worried though, especially if you have double or triple Arsenal defense. They still did only concede very, very low XG numbers. It's just the goals went in this time, which again, it happens, it's football. So it's not something that I would be worried about. The fixtures are still alright-ish. I mean, they've got Spurs at home next. Spurs haven't been too good lately, especially away from home and at home really, but yeah, wouldn't be too worried about that. I'm sticking with double Arsenal defense. There's no way I'm getting rid of them at all. And then yeah, Senesi conceding 4, still picking up 2 points, and that's just the difference this year with Defcon. Without Defcon, he picks up like 0, and obviously the 2, obviously very, very nice from Defcon. And then yeah, Lacroix with the 6 points. The midfield didn't do too bad this week. Saka picking up 12 points. He was my vice captain this week. I was kind of umming and ahhing about putting the captaincy on him, but with how shaky Liverpool have been, I know they've kind of turned it around a little bit in recent games, but I was still thinking that Haaland would do a better job. But Saka did pick up 12 points. It was a little bit annoying that he decided to haul this week when a lot of people brought him in, because I've had him for a few weeks now, and he's been super low owned. He's still relatively low owned, so it was nice to get those 12 points. But a lot of people brought him in this week, and this is the week that he goes big, which is really unfortunate, but I'll still take the Saka points. It's nice that he finally got me some points, because I think I brought him in for like 9.8 or 9.9 or something like that. He's like 10.1 now, maybe. Don't really know, but either way, 12 points from Saka, my highest scoring player this week. Paquetá picking up 4 points, scored 3 goals, West Ham, and only 1 assist from Paquetá. Got another yellow card, so he's now out of the Bournemouth fixture. Always a player that I was thinking of getting rid of this week regardless, so that doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, 4 points from Paquetá. Hasn't really been a great buy. I missed the goal that he scored last week. In fact, I think the only return that he's got for me was this assist this week. But the majority of the weeks, he just picks up a yellow card. So yeah, not great. I got a lot of bench jam this week, I won't lie. Dewsbury Hall coming off the bench with a 9-pointer. For Kudus, who didn't play. I did start Kudus. Wasn't sure he was going to start. I just played him just because I thought he was a little bit of a better option than Dewsbury Hall, but didn't play. Dewsbury Hall came off the bench. I'll take the points. I've played Dewsbury Hall a lot lately and got absolutely nothing from him, so it would have been really, really annoying if the one time I didn't play him, he goes and gets 9 points. But yeah, luckily did get the bench jam this week, which turned it from a red to a green arrow, so we do love Dewsbury Hall. But yeah, 4.9 mil. He's a player that's going to play every week. He's just a nice option to have. And then Semenyo with the 0 points and missing a penalty, not ideal. I've actually had a lot of players miss penalties for me this season. I've had Fernandes miss a penalty for me, I've had Semenyo miss a penalty for me, and of course Haaland missed a penalty this week as well. So 2 missed penalties this week, not ideal. Could have been a completely different story. Even if Bournemouth go and lose 4-1, at least Semenyo picks up 5 or so points. And then yeah, Haaland would have been an absolute huge haul from him if he'd picked up the goal from the pen instead of missing it. It was not a great pen, to be fair, very low, very easy to save, but is what it is. But yeah, Semenyo with 0 points, Haaland with 8. He did still score, so kind of made it a little bit better, but still only 8 points from my captain there. And then, like I say, Mateta and Welbeck being a part of that draw. They did have a pen overturned. I'm not sure if Welbeck would have been on it. I think he does take pens. The good thing is that he's just still getting reliable minutes. You know, 85 minutes this time. As long as he just keeps getting minutes, there's no reason to sell him. I think when the fixture congestion happens a little bit closer to Christmas, I think that there probably will be a couple of benchings for Welbeck. But I don't think I'll have him at that point. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we also have AFCON to think about as well that's coming up. A lot of players are going to be missing because of that competition, but you know, all in all, not a terrible week. It's a green arrow, can't complain. I can't remember what I was on before. I think I was on like 1.4 mil. Now I'm up to 1.1. So it was actually a pretty decent green arrow this week. So I feel like a lot of people didn't do too great. But yeah, Dubravka with 2, Kudus with 0, Virgil with 1, and then Rodon with 1 as well. But either way, that's how I got on in game week 11. Let's take a look at my transfers for game week 12. So I've got 1.1 mil in the bank, and I've got 2 free transfers. I did, of course, roll this week, which I was quite happy with because I always wanted to go into the international break with 2 free transfers. Just gives me a little bit more, I guess, of a safety net. If we do pick up an injury or something in the team, then it's always nice to have an extra free transfer and a little bit of money in the bank to kind of sort it out. Although that being said, when you look at my team, there's 2 big players that need to be gone, and that's Kudus and Paquetá. Even if Kudus is fit, he's got Arsenal away. It's not really a fixture I want to keep him for. And then, like I say, Paquetá only misses 1 game. He's not an immediate sell because I can just bench him this week. But then after that, he's got Liverpool at home and then Man United away. Like, it's just not worth really keeping him. So yeah, I've opted for the 3 up front and then the kind of like 4 in midfield, and that's how I'm going to play it. But like I say, unfortunately, both of these players are now not really reliable at the moment. So the back line's fine because I can just play 4 at the back if needed, because I've got Spurs at home for Gabriel, West Ham at home for Senesi, Wolves away for Lacroix, and then Forest at home for Van Dijk. So I can play 4 at the back, and then I can just play 3 in midfield and just play a 4-3-3. So I can just get rid of one of Kudus or Paquetá, and then obviously just play the 3 in the midfield, and then obviously play the 3 up top. Which is I'm fine with. You know, you get a lot of points from defenders this season. I'm not too bothered about that. It's just who I bring in, and it's who I get rid of. If both are not ready to play in game week 12, which again Paquetá can't. Kudus, he might be back, but it's such a bad fixture. I'm probably more inclined to get rid of Kudus. He is just dropping, like, his price point is just like, he's got like 3 price drops in the last like 2 weeks or something. It's been horrible. And he's not really done. I think I've got like a couple of returns from him, but yeah, at the end of the day, he's not been great. So the one player that I'm obviously thinking of bringing in is Szoboszlai, but he's on 4 yellow cards now, which it shouldn't be a massive reason to not bring in a player. But the fixtures are so good for Liverpool. Like in the next 5, he's got Forest at home, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, and Brighton at home. A ridiculous good run of fixtures, but he could easily miss one of those with a yellow card. But there's just not really anybody else that I'm really wanting to bring in around that price range. Like, I'd bring in Declan Rice, but I've already got 3 Arsenal players. Could bring in Minte, but like I say, I don't really want 2 Brighton attackers there. So it's what to really do with this other option. I've got 6.9 mil in the bank if I wanted to get rid of both of these midfielders. One player I was kind of looking at was Rodgers, but he's not really been too good this season. It'd be a nice little differential to bring in, but you know, he's still getting his minutes and stuff. And Villa did just score 4, but he wasn't involved in any of them. He did pick up an assist, but then it got chalked off. So I don't know why, but yeah, obviously didn't actually count as an assist in the end. So that's one thing that I could do, and then just have Rodgers, and because he's got Leeds away this week, which isn't terrible. Like, his fixtures are actually good because they've got Wolves at home after, Brighton away. You know, he's got Arsenal at home coming up, and then West Ham away. So the fixtures are really good for Aston Villa. So that's one player that I'm potentially thinking of bringing in, because around the price point of 6.9 mil, I just don't really like. If I go to affordable and I go to midfielders, you know, I've got Rice, who obviously I can't bring in, who's gone up to 6.9 mil now as well. Caicedo, who's 6 mil. Again, I feel like the kind of ship has sailed on the Chelsea players. Like, they've got a decent fixture this week, but after that, they're just not great. And then other players as well. In fact, the website's just not even working. Never mind. I thought, yeah, the website update is terrible, and they should have just kept how it was last season. But yeah, if I go to a price point of just below, let's just go below 7.2. So, like I say, the big players that I'm potentially bringing in is the likes of Minte, Rice. Obviously can't bring in Rice, but like players around that kind of like caliber and stuff. And there's just not really anybody that kind of jumps out at me. Like Enzo Fernandez, he's been a very unlucky pick, because obviously he's been dodging points left, right, and center. So yeah, the only big player that I'd potentially bring in is either Rodgers or Njai. Njai's fixtures are a little bit, they're not really anything. And I've already got Dewsbury Hall as well, so it isn't really an option there. So I think the only option is just Rodgers and just go with a major differential. Like I say, the fixtures are decent, and then I just bring in those 2 players, and then I just play either a 3-4-3 or a 4-4-3, a 4-3-3, should I say. But then it's who do I bench? Like, I'm not benching Saka, I'm not benching Semenyo. I know he's just missed a pen. Hopefully it doesn't mean he's off them now, but we'll wait and see. I wouldn't be benching Szoboszlai. And like I say, Rodgers with Leeds away is a very good fixture. Have just conceded 3 at Forest. I don't really want to bench any of the strikers either. So yeah, I'd have to bench one of my defenders. It'd probably be Lacroix, seeing as he's the only one with the away fixture, but Wolves are just so bad at the moment. Do I really want to do that? Probably not. So yeah, it might just be one of those where I just don't use 2 transfers and just keep Paquetá and then just bring in Szoboszlai and then just play a 4-3-3. So I don't have to make, because if I make the transfer for Rodgers, it's just a benching headache. But then after that, after the Leeds fixture is Wolves at home, and I definitely want Rodgers for that. The only fixture I don't really want Rodgers for is Arsenal in a few game weeks, and you know, Dewsbury Hall, who does he have in that? Because I'll obviously just have to play him instead. So if I go onto his full profile, who does he? Yeah, so he's got Forest at home in the week that Rodgers plays Arsenal at home. So I'd obviously just play Dewsbury Hall in that week. So he does alternate really well with Dewsbury Hall. It's just he's just not been anywhere near as good as last season. Like, his minutes have still been fine, like 85, 90, 90, 90, like absolutely fine. It's just 2 points, 1 point, 3 points, 7, 5, 5. He's just not had anything crazy. He's had 1 goal and 2 assists in 11 games. Maybe it turns around now. They have just scored 4 goals, but again, wasn't involved in any of them. Really poor numbers as well. Like 0.03 expected goal involvement, 0.02 expected assist involvement. A little bit better against Liverpool, but against City, nothing. Like, his numbers have just been very, very bad. So I don't know. I feel like it could be a little bit of a trap, but there's just not really anybody else that I want to bring in around that price range. But like I say, I could just bench Paquetá this week and just play a 4-3-3, and then just kind of, I don't know, see where I'm at afterwards. Another thing that I could do is obviously just go really, really low with Paquetá and bring in somebody like, I don't know, there's some really, really cheap players that aren't terrible. I could bring in like somebody like King or Belieber or someone like that, just someone that's really, really cheap. Get rid of Kudus and then bring in somebody like Fernandes, who, again, really good fixtures coming up for United. Obviously, Mbeumo goes AFCON as well in, game week 16, but you'd have 4 really good fixtures with him. So obviously when Mbeumo goes and stuff, I think Fernandes becomes a little bit less of a good option. But for the next 4, he's got Everton at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, and Wolves away. Really good fixtures for United. So I could do that and have 0.1 mil in the bank, and then I'd have to just play a 4-3-3 every week. So I'd have Dewsbury Hall and King, and I don't know, 2 really, really low owned midfielders just to bring in Bruno Fernandes just doesn't really seem worth it. So yeah, that's another thing. But I don't know, I'd probably just go Szoboszlai and then probably just roll the other transfer. We'll see what happens. I might pick up an injury on the international break and have to deal with that, but we'll see what happens. That's gonna be how I approach game week 12, though, I think. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment. What are your transfer plans looking like? Subscribe if you're brand new, and until next time, peace.